Hey guys, Tim Wilson UK here, and welcome back to another real course review on the golf club. And today, as you can see from the screen in front of you, we are doing the Black Lake Golf Club from Michigan. Now, this is a course that's being created by Colin Mafia, and for those of you that have watched some of my videos over the course of the last few years, you will know that I'm a big supporter of Colin. He creates some absolutely fantastic courses, and he also plays the game as well, which is unusual because you normally find that the creators don't tend to play and the players don't tend to create as much as one another. But I have actually found, and I do actually watch Colin play online. He does actually broadcast on Twitch, so if you want to actually check out his Twitch channel, he has got a Twitch channel, just search for Colin Mafia, and he also has a YouTube channel. But today we're doing the Black Lake Golf Club, and it's funny that he actually put that screenshot on there, because if you go to the Black Lake Golf Club website, that screenshot actually appears on the very first page of the website. So they've got almost a directly overhead shot of that hole, and I don't know what hole it is, but just to read some of the intro from the website, it says, while many courses have 2 or 3 so-called signature holes that are worthy of brochure status, every hole at the Black Lake Golf Club could easily be on the front cover of a magazine promoting the course. That is one reason that it was placed number 44 in Golf Digest's 100 Greatest Public Courses in America in May 2012, and placed number 9 in the best value category. The course is owned by the UAW. I don't know who they are, but it's the UAW who selected one of golf's most acclaimed course architects, Rees Jones, to design an environmentally responsible championship caliber course. It was a challenge eagerly embraced by Jones Golf World Magazine Architect of the Year in 1995. And he says, the holes were here, we just had to find them. We strive for holes blending with the natural terrain. There is nothing artificial or contrived at Black Lake. We were trying to build an old style course. You'll notice we don't have mounds or moguls, we just have sweeps and natural grades. The condition of the course is immaculate, making your round more enjoyable. The only bad lie on the course comes with an errant shot that enters into the woods or the hazards. So that's just some information on the course. Let's jump straight into a round on this course. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, as I always do when I play Colin Mafia's courses. If you guys haven't checked out the speed golf round or the speed golf video that I've done, it is actually on YouTube. I did play some speed golf with Mr. Jamie Rocks, and we did play another one of Colin Mafia's courses, which was Harbour Town. So be sure to check that out. So we're on to hole number 1. Now, I don't really know. Let me just have a quick look, see if I've got any information on scorecards. It doesn't look like I do. Scorecard, yeah, there we go. So this is the scorecard from the website. Okay, so which tees are we playing? So he has par 5, 519. Now, it looks like we have white, blue and gold on the website, and looks like we've also got 3 tees on here, maybe a 4th one a little further ahead. But I would imagine we're playing on the gold tees, because on the website it is showing at 515 yards as a par 5. Let's have a look at the overhead. Once again, an immaculately created course. The attention to detail by Colin is second to none. Beautiful looking layout here. And a really tough par 5 here, because unless you get right down here, that green is going to be unsighted on this particular hole. Whoopsie. Okay, let's get back to the tee. Now, how far can we get down? This is going to be the trick, is getting down there far enough to have a good shot at the green. Now, let's get it off. That is the sign for me of a good course. So it is when you've got a par 5 that is not incredibly long, I mean it's playing 505 yards, 519 at the very most, but if you have a look here now, we have this tree in our way. Now, a shot that you could play here would be to draw the ball in, which is probably what I'm going to do. I am also going to try and drop this down to try and draw this ball into the green, because we do have a slight tailwind. But this is what a short par 5 should be all about. It should be all about risk reward, and have I carried this ever so slightly. I've just managed to do it, but that's the reward. If you get it right, it will stay dry, but it's a chance that you take, and that's a sign for me of a really good par 5. Right, let's see if we can get this close. That's okay. That's going to give me a birdie on the first hole. I did notice that this was playing as easiest rating. What do we got here now? We've got a par 4, 436. So the scorecard here says 427. Let's see what it's playing. Playing 441. So yardage is slightly out. Oh yeah, I do actually see that there is 5 tees on here. Gold, blue, white, silver and green, which is really strange colour combination, because that's not what I would normally identify with those particular tees on a golf course. Alright, so we've got a fairly straightaway par 4 here. It's slightly dog legs to the left, but it is completely surrounded by bunkers down the end here. It's a massive green, so got a lot to aim at. This course hasn't been played enough to give it a handicap rating, so I don't know what the stroke index is or would be on this particular hole, or for this particular course. So let's get this going. 436, so probably an average distance for a par 4. And I would imagine this will be a fairly high stroke rating. In other words, it will be probably up towards the high teens, so maybe 15, somewhere along those lines, because I don't see that this would pose an awful lot of problem, albeit I haven't reached the green as yet, so I don't know until I get there. But let's play this shot into the green and see what it's like. That ball should slightly come back to the right with that wind. Yep. Didn't have a look at how the greens are playing, but by the way that bounced, it looks like they're playing quite fast. Now that's downhill, and as you guys know, is it downhill near the hole? It is, but ever so slightly. I might actually do this. I don't normally chip when there's a downhill lie, but I'm going to do it here because I think I need to try and get this closer to the hole, like that. So that it doesn't happen all the time, I can assure you. I still haven't managed to see. I didn't look when I played that very short putt on the par 5 first what the speed of the greens were, but I would imagine that particular hole is a very high stroke rating. Let's have a look at the overhead on here. Perhaps Colin would comment on the video just to, I think we're definitely, I see 4 tee boxes on here, but we're definitely on the furthest tee box back. This is a short par 3, dog leg left. As I say, I mean, look at this. This course is absolutely stunning. I mean, all the effort's been made to put all the cart paths and the trees in. We've even got the road coming into the course as well, going to the clubhouse. You can see it there. The effort has definitely been put into this. Let's see if we've got any problems with anything coming into the green. It funnels in, but it doesn't look too difficult as well, this particular hole. Again, I would probably say this is not going to be one of the toughest holes on the course, but let's get it going. Let's have a look at the yardage quickly before we tee off. 396 on the scorecard, 393, playing 387 today, so I would imagine that this hole with a slight tailwind, probably going to have just over 100 yards into the flag. Okay, 105. We do have a slope there. You can see that slope. So we need to just be a little bit mindful of that, just to make sure that we get it right up to the flag. I'm going to use the wind for that. I aimed about 102 yards using the wind, and hopefully it'll bite. It did bite, but it went quite a way past the hole. Not playing too fast there, 156. So quite slow greens. As greens go in the golf club, everybody tends to put on really fast greens. So not incredibly fast, but we just need to be a little bit mindful of it on this hole, because it is 6 inches downhill, and you can see I didn't hit it that hard in order to get it to the hole, but that's a par. So far 2 birdies and a par, and what I normally do is, as you guys know if you've watched real course reviews in the past, I give you my first impressions after 3 holes, and I thoroughly enjoy this course. The par 5 was it was a tough par 5 to start with, real risk reward hole. Holes 2 and 3, no great challenges. Fairly standard, straightforward par 4s, really, I would imagine, fairly easy holes from a stroke index perspective, and I think that they will be playing really easy when they actually get handicap rated. But I'm loving the course. I'm loving the simplicity of the course, because sometimes you don't need to be over fussy with a golf course. I mean, especially here, is that 455 yards, I would imagine we're playing right down into this area here. Errant on the left hand side, you're going to be in bother there. That it would prove to be a very difficult second shot. If you've got a tailwind, you've got to be careful you don't run into this rough here. We do have a slight dog leg to the left, and the green has a very narrow entry and this massive bunker on the left, but the pin is right in the heart of the green, so that is not going to be a problem. So we're going to have a big target to aim at. What I need to make sure of here is that I keep this in the fairway. Nice and straight. Is it going to slow down before it gets to the edge? That looks okay. Right in the middle. Alright, 300 yards. So this one is 464. Let's have a look. 453, so not a million miles away, and I do appreciate the fact that it is always really tough to get the yardages correct in this game. It's not easy at all. It looks okay. Yardage is right. Is it going to slow down? It's not too bad. So the greens, even though they're putting slow, they are firm, so the ball isn't biting as much as I would probably want it to, but I can't grumble too much about that at all. 20 feet. Slightly uphill. Underhit it, wasn't quite right on the direction, but I like the fact that these greens haven't got stupid slopes on them, and that was explained in the on the website. They're using the natural contours and gradients of the course. Now this is the hole that is the signature hole that's on the website. If we have a look at this from above, this is an absolutely fabulous hole. Look at that for a golf hole. All of those tee boxes and that huge bunker that extends the entire length of the hole. Also a par 3 at 241 yards, 236 on the website, is an absolute beast of a par 3, almost 250 yards. Now I don't know about you guys, but you know, as a golfer myself, 250 yards is pretty much where I normally stick my driver, so I would probably be taking a driver to this particular hole, or either that or I'd be playing up short somewhere over here. Having a look at it, there is a fairly big area there where you could play to if you weren't a big hitter, but we are going to be going for this. I am also going to be trying to fade this into this green, purely because of the fact that I don't really want to be playing over those bunkers, or that bunker. It's not bunkers. And I also have clubbed down a little. I'm mindful of the fact that that wind is there as well, so it's going to counteract it a little bit. So this is a experimental shot, and that is going to go horribly wrong unless it can get to the green. Oh, that is just about right. Wow, I thought that was going to go horribly wrong, but luckily enough I had enough fairway and green to play with there. And that is probably, I have to say, one of the toughest par 3s that I've played on any course in the golf club for a very, very long time. We've got 26 feet here, and it's moving from the right all the time. Not as much as I thought. Weight was perfect, direction was a bit to be desired. That should be a kick-in par. Alright, what have we got next? We have a par 4. Let's get onto the hole. 375 yards on the scorecard on the website. 380, so pretty much bang on. We've got a few sort of rolls of the natural terrain here. We've got some bunkers protecting on the left-hand side. Looks like we've got some kind of ravine or cliff on the left, so we don't want to be straying left. Now this is, even though it's a short hole, it's a fairly tight hole as golf holes go, because it's quite short. The fairway is really narrow, so this would probably still have a fairly low stroke index, probably around about 8 or 9. So albeit a short hole at 381 yards for a par 4, it's going to pose its own issues when I get up here towards the green, I would have thought. It's fairly decent sized green. It's flowing in from the left hand side, so if you do go left it is going to roll back down to the flag. 120, got a slight wind, 108. I hope that's enough. Left of the flag is preferred, because you'll see that will then move off to the right. Not as much as I wanted it to, but I didn't expect it to go that far left. Okay, so we've got a downhill putt here, moving very slightly from the left. Ooh, a little bit hard, run past. I like the slopes on this course because they're gradual slopes. They're not, you know, crazy abrupt slopes. And we're through 6 holes already, can't believe it. So on to the 7th hole, 438 yards in the game. 439, sorry, playing 426, 421 on the website. So again, pretty much bang on. Let's have a look at this hole from above. Okay, so not a difficult shot off the tee. Also depends. Let's have a quick look. Let's change this to a driver, because this is going to be the interesting thing. How much of this tree you can take on. Now, you probably wouldn't take too much of that on. It's not going to come into play. You're probably going to be playing into that kind of area there. Let's zoom out. Let's swing this round a little bit. There we go. Alright, so your second shot, you're going to have a fairly straightforward shot. I'm looking forward to giving my first 9 verdict, because I've sort of made up my mind as to what I'm going to say, but let's get the front 9 finished, and then we'll have a look at giving that first 9 a verdict. 280 yards, that should make it a fairly short strike into the green. We've got a 7 iron. Let's have a look at this green. Is there much going on here? No slope at all there. Little bit of slope. From the middle of the green it starts to move to the right, but no major slope there. So fairly big, wide green with not a lot of movement at all. Okay, let's see if we can get this one to stop. Again, roll past the flag, and I put quite a lot of loft on that one. Now that should be a dead straight putt. It's just getting the weight right. And that was absolutely perfect. That has got to be, for me, stroke index 18. Alright, on to hole number 8. A par 3. I haven't seen an awful lot of water on this course as yet. There was some on the first hole, I remember seeing. 182, 189, playing 179 on the scorecard. Really tough pin position. Not a lot of green to play with. So this one's going to be tough because it's trying to hold the green. I was saying I didn't see any water. If you go long, you're going to be in bother here, but if you come up short, you're also going to be in bother because you're going to end up in that bunker. So this hole would probably have a really low stroke index, like a stroke index 3 or 4, I would imagine. 179, 175. Let's play that short. I think this isn't going to hold, but let's play it anyway. It's getting it over the bunker to start with, which I have done. It's hit the fringe, which has kicked it forward, and there we go, it's rolled all the way across. So unless you play this with an incredible amount of loft. Now I couldn't have taken much more of a shorter iron or a longer iron and put more loft on it than I did. But hey ho, it is what it is, it's done. Let's have a look at this. 5 yards. Moving from the right. And that didn't slow, so that could be a difficult putt coming back. And that is exactly why I don't chip very often. Now luckily enough, that's a fairly straight putt. If I hit it straight. Yeah, in for par. So managed to save my blushes there. Alright, and we're on to the 9th hole. Now on the scorecard here, 602 yards, playing 609, 560 on the website. So a little bit out there, but straight away it is, you can see there, it is almost straight as arrows, straight up and down. This is no bother at all. Apart from when you start getting down near the green here, you have a few bunkers dotted left and right, and then we've got some bunkers on the approach. Now this looks like it's a tricky green. You can see that it's got a ridge running through the middle of the green, so it's important that we get over this on the approach shot, but definitely not going to be getting there in 2, so not to worry about just yet. Important to get a nice 100% strike there to get it down as far as we possibly can. What I want to be doing is exactly the same thing with a 3 wood on this next shot here, just to make sure I get it as far down as possible. And that should leave a sub 100 shot into this green, probably around about 75 yards ish. Oh, look at that, 75 yards on the button. That's giving me a pitch shot. at 75. I'm going to take a bit off of this because I know how fast these greens are when they hit. So I want to make it over that ridge, and then hopefully, oh, I was going to say it will bite, but it didn't bite at all. These greens are not receptive at all. But again, a green with no movement at all by the looks of it. There was a little bit there, and it pushed it off to the left. And that's a par. Alright, front nine in the bag. My verdict is that the course is simple. The course is not fussy. It is what I would expect a real course to be like. And that is the difference between a rendition of a real course and somebody creating a fictitious or a fantasy course, is that this is a really good, accurate representation of a real course. It is playing easy in the game because of the fact that it is as accurate as it can be to the real course. If you were to play this course in real life, I would imagine it would be quite tough because it has its own challenges. You can see that I haven't had it all my own way from the scorecard. 3 birdies and 6 pars. 6 pars, yeah. I couldn't count there for a minute. 3 birdies and 6 pars. From a creation perspective, can't fault it. It is a Colin Mafia course through and through. Absolutely top notch. Every attention to detail. Nothing's been spared. So far so good. I'm giving it a big thumbs up after 9. So let's crack on with number 10. Alright, so hole number 10 on the scorecard is 430 yards, par 4. It is playing 446. Well, 446 on fairly straight away, par 4. Got a bit of a ridge in the green, which means that as you hit the green, that slope is going to force the ball all the way off the back of the green unless you can get it to stop with an awful lot of loft. But let's get this ball down this fairway. It is not an incredibly long hole at 450 yards for a par 4, but it still means we're going to have a medium iron into the green. I would imagine I'm going to be having about a 7 iron, 6 iron into the green. 6 iron's probably going to be 162, 163. I am going to drop that down to a 7. In fact, I'm even going to take a little off of it to try and get it to stop. And let's see if we can get this to slow up on that green, because it's going to hit that slope and it's going to roll. That is okay. I sort of planned materializes how you think it's going to. A slope there, but that's a nice hole. I like that hole. That you really have to know how that ball is going to react when it hits the green, and it's good to know that the ball is not biting when it's hitting the green, that it is kicking on. The greens are firm to their approach shots, but they're not firm and fast when you're actually putting them. And this looks like a cracking hole. 365 yards, playing 350, 351 on the scorecard on the website. Really difficult one here. And I would imagine that this would be a really low stroke index, because if you take a driver here, look at that area that you're playing into. And that's why they make it a fairly short on the yardage, because you really want to be playing into this area, which means you're still not going to be leaving yourself a long iron into the green, because the yardage of the entire hole isn't incredibly long. Let's see if we can get this over that rise. Is it over? It's going to land on the top, which is okay. So this is going to be about 100 clicks into the green. 101 to be honest. And that is pretty much bang on. Let's move that over a smidge. And let's get this close. Now this is a pitching wedge, so this should bite. It is high as you can get it. Should be one bounce and bite, which it did, and that is going to be a fairly straightforward birdie. Now Is that a high stroke index? Probably not, but you do have to take your medicine and you do have to play smart on that one, and take a 3-wood or something less off the tee in order to set up that approach shot. Could you reach that in 2? Probably. In 1, probably not, unless you had a really, really big tailwind. We move on to the par 3 12th. This is 176, 174 on the scorecard on the website, playing 169. No wind on this one at all, but really difficult here because you can see we have a bank here, so anything short is going to push this ball backwards. Looks like we've got a slope on the front here, so if you hit that it's going to push the ball forwards. Good thing is you've got a slight slope behind the hole, so that's going to slow the ball down if it's got any sort of pace to it. But it's getting it up on the green in the first place that's hard. It's playing 166. This is a tough hole. This is a tough hole, even at 170 yards. Has it got enough to get there? No. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is the dilemma. Is playing it short enough to not run past the hole means that you could be in a position where you're going to end up coming up short, which I've just done. Oh, that was so close to going in the hole. It's going to leave me a tough putt here now. That was a good scramble. That really was a good scramble. That's a tough hole. That is a really tough hole, and I would imagine that would be a really low stroke index. Hole number 13, 373 on the website, 377 in the game, playing 365, so once again there or thereabouts. Let's have a look at this from above. Really narrows this fairway, so that really reduces the landing area. You've got this bunker on the left hand side here if you're prone to hooking or pulling the ball a little bit, and then we do have a raised green at the back here, which means that anything long left or right is probably going to roll off. Once you're on, it's a fairly big green, but it's a really narrow green. In other words, you're playing across the green when you're approaching it from the fairway, which means that it is going to be a fairly low stroke index because the approach shot is going to be fairly tough. Let's see if we can get it on and stop it. Once again, much like the last hole, if you come up short, there is the bank in front of the green that is going to push it back if you don't get it all the way up to the flag. It's a fairly short hole, so with this lofted club we should be able to get right up there. It's 91 yards with the elevation, the change in elevation. Let's take a little off of this. Once again, sand wedge, so this should pitch and bite. So it should pitch one and then bite. Not as well as the pitching wedge, to be fair, but I think that was because we were playing to an elevated green. But again, we've got a little bit of movement on this green, not a lot. So using the natural contours of the green, we managed to pick up another birdie, but another fantastic hole. All right, what do we got here? Wow, look at this for work on bunkers. Man, that is incredible. Not only for the people that have created the course, but for Colin to actually recreate this so intricately on this course is absolutely phenomenal. It's really weird though, because although it looks great, that first bunker, that whole wiggly bunker that you've got there, doesn't come into play on a par 3 at all. So all of this on the right hand side comes into play, that bunker on the left there comes into play. But look at this for a green. This is definitely, for me, a really low stroke index. Perhaps a stroke index 2 or 1. The good thing about it is that you're playing into the uphill parts of the green. So ideally you want to be landing the ball around about here, so you're putting up the slope, or if you can get it on, you get it on somewhere around about here. If you're up here, it's going to be a difficult putt because you're going to be putting downhill to the flag. But let's see what we can do. Really tough hole, this one. 204, 200 yards on the button. Let's see if we can use some of this roll. Alright, it's landed about the right distance. How much is it going to roll? Is it going to get up the slope? Is it going to stop? Yes! Oh, I only just look at those yellow lines. They stop pretty much where the ball landed. So that was absolutely spot on. It's not downhill. It's flat. We've got a little bit of movement from the right. Still not an easy putt. Didn't move as much as I thought it was going to, but that should be a tap in for a par. But yeah, you really have to get your numbers bang on the money on that hole. Alright, we've got 2 par 5s in the space of 4 holes here. So par 5 15th, 515 on the website. In the game is on the scorecard 509, playing 446. So incredibly, it is a lot shorter than what it is on the website by, well, 50 odd yards, even more, 60 yards shorter than it is on the website. A lot of that may be due to maybe to do with pin position, but that 446, I would imagine, is, it's not as the crow flies, maybe. But let's play this down there. This could be a tough hole because unless you get it far enough down that fairway, are you going to be able to take the green on in 2? Let's have a look. Got to get it past that last tree. Alright, not quite past the shadow, but that doesn't mean we're not past the tree. Yeah, we are not past the tree. Also, this green, again, tough. It's got a ridge that runs right through the middle of the green. You can see it there. So anything down here, that ball's going to roll off. Anything to the left, that ball's going to roll off. So we really want to be rolling it up around about there. So when it rolls forward, it gradually rolls down towards the hole. But the problem I've got is this tree. Now I need to bring this ball back into this green, which is going to be pretty damn tough, and also to try and get it to slow down as well. So this is going to prove to be a really, really difficult shot. Alright, it's starting to move back. Is it going to land short enough? That looks okay. That's where I said I wanted it to land. Still going a bit fierce though. Alright, so a really tough hole in that second shot, because unless you've got the wind behind, that ball will not slow down. Sorry, unless you've got the ball... Yeah, unless you've got the ball, the wind behind off the tee, it's not going to get far enough down so you can clear those trees. So you're going to have to play a draw into that hole, which is going to, as you've just seen, creates its own problems because you lose an awful lot of control over it when you start to draw or fade the ball. That'll do. That's an eagle. On to hole number 16. Hole number 16, 457 yards in the game. On the scorecard, I've just lost the scorecard. Where has it gone? Ah, there we go. What do we got here? 16. 443 on the website. 458 playing 443. So it's playing exactly what it says on the website. Let's have a look at it from above, because it looks like this hole reminds me a little bit of the 15th at Augusta, whereas it's a dogleg to the right. There's a slight rise there, and you're playing into this area. If you go far left, you're going to be blocked by the trees, and then you start to move down towards the hole. Albeit this is a par 4, it does remind me a little bit of Augusta. And I would imagine that green down there is going to give its own problems when it comes to slopes. But this is a tough drive because I have a natural slight fade on my shot, and I'm hoping I can get past the corner. Yes. Okay. I wanted to take on as much of that corner as possible, and I just wanted that kick to come off, just so I didn't end up with that tree in my way on the left hand side there. You can just see it. Now, let's have a look at this green. There's a couple of slopes. There's quite a heavy slope there, which will bring the ball back round to the hole if you go off to the right. You're going to fall off the green if you go anywhere left, so potentially we want to be hitting the right hand side of the green here, so as it rolls up it starts to move further back to the left. So let's aim a little to the right. 178, 175. I'm going to drop that down to 170 and see if we can get some roll going here. Right, it's landed in the right area. How much is it going to roll around to the right, to the left now? Nothing. Okay, so you live and learn. I should have gone straight at the flag because that was pretty much pin high. And that's going to leave me a horrible putt now because that is massively downhill. And I literally just needed to get that rolling. You can see that almost went 90 degrees. Now let's put that over there. And that is a par save, but a tough hole. Well, a tough hole in that I made the mistake of playing that into the wrong position on the green, but the tee shot's pretty tough. 17, 403 yards, par 4 on the website 391. Let's have a look on here. 403 playing 403, so not a million miles away. We've got water that comes into play here. I wouldn't imagine it's going to prove too problematic because it's a huge fairway, so it's not going to give us too much of a headache. Moving up to the green, preferably we want to be down the left hand side of the fairway here. Another immaculately created hole with this water and the lilies and the island there. It is absolutely fantastic, as you'd expect. But yeah, we want to be down the left hand side of the fairway, so we're playing into the length of the green. This is what I would regard as a really, really good, solid golf hole. .403 yards means it's not going to be playing too long for a par 4. That is position A off the tee on the left hand side of the fairway. As you can see, we're playing right down the throat of this green. Let's have a look at the green. Anything left is going to roll back round. It looks like we've got a huge false front on this green. Let's get down right down at, yeah. You can see that we've got this ridge here, so anything short is probably going to check up quite dramatically, and anything that's just on the top is probably going to roll down towards the flag. We've got a 9-iron here, so we should be able to shoot straight at the pin. I'm going to take a little off of it, but this is going to be going right at the flag. Provided there was no slope interference there, that should be right at the flag. It should bounce and check. And again, not as receptive as I wanted it to be. Not for a 9-iron, but that's okay. It's given me a decent length putt at 10 feet. There's a little bit of direction change there, which I allowed for. Another great hole, but I do bang on quite a lot about thinking man's course, and you can see the real courses that are created is, you know, as opposed to the fantasy courses that people build. The people that know golf, when they're creating their fantasy courses, will make a playable course, but it's a course that requires some thought in order to play it well, and this is definitely one of those, and Colin has really done a good job of creating that, or capturing that in this course. So 602 yards, we're into the final hole, 590 on the website, playing 607, so slightly longer than the website shows on the scorecard. It's slight dog leg to the right if you look at it as a whole, but not really an awful lot to give you too much of a problem. First and second shot, not going to give you a problem. It's the third shot into the green, but this green is absolutely humongous. Look at the size of this green. Once again, looks like we've got a few tiers here, so we need to make sure, because we're not playing the second shot into the green, we don't have to worry about trying to hold the green, because the third shot into the green is going to be with a really short club, and it means that we can fire straight at the pin. But literally just have to be mindful that the landing area is going to be right on that yellow zone, which means it's going to push the ball forward like that. So let's get this hole underway. We're just about to draw this round to a conclusion, and then I can give a nice score to this. .279 yards, and not setting the world on fire with that shot into that hugely wide fairway. And we're going to be playing into this wideish section down here, but two shots of around 250 yards means that we're definitely going to be having a sub 100 yard shot into this green. There we go, 80 yards. So 81 yards with the elevation change. I'm going to play this lob wedge in here, and I'm going to probably slightly push it past the flag just to try and get it to spin back a little bit. Nice and high. And that bit quite nicely. It's going to be a tough putt, is it? No, not so much. 12 feet, moving a little bit, and that'll be enough to get me into double figures. So let's get on to the score. My verdict for the course is, it is a really good, I mean, I don't know Black Lake Golf Club. I've never been to Michigan. I've never played the course. But it plays in the game like I would expect a golf course to play in real life. And that, for me, is a good indicator that it is a good representation of the real course. Colin hasn't disappointed once again. He has really put the time and effort into putting all the things that are required into the course. Slope, hazards, be it water, be it rough, be it bunkers. The bunkers, I mean, just from the screenshots that I've seen from the website, the bunkers are really well represented in the game. All of the things that you'd expect, cart path, clubhouse, all of those kind of things, they're all included in there. But I thoroughly enjoyed playing this. Some of the holes are really easy, which you'd expect them to be. That's why you have stroke index 1 through 18. I haven't, you know, even though I've scored double figures, an eagle was a bonus with a chip in, so take that out of the equation, it would have been a 9 under par. No drop shots, which is always my benchmark. I always try and shoot around without dropping shots. Let's get on to the review screen. There we go. Alright. Rating. It says I've already played that course. I can't. I can do it on here. Alright, I haven't actually played that course, so because he's only just finished making it, so I couldn't have played that course. Score. I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 is because I think Colin has done another sterling job in a fantastic recreation of a real life golf course, and that's what these real course reviews are all about. It's the slopes are not crazy, the greens are really nice, even though they're not receptive to an approach shot, which is fantastic. They're not putting stupidly fast, so it's a fantastic all-round golf course, and for that reason I'm giving it a solid 9 out of 10. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoy doing these real course reviews. As Colin did, he recommended this course to me. I have then now created this real course review for my channel and also for him because he requested it. So if you do have any suggestions or you've created courses yourself, throw it in the comments box below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. And feel free to check out some of my other videos. I do record daily videos, pretty much almost daily videos of my rounds that I do in the golf club in TGC Tours, because I'm actually playing on the Challenge Circuit A in TGC Tours, and I also do some other videos, some speed golf and stuff like that. So if you want to check out some other videos, feel free to do so. Until the next real course review, guys, girls, thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye now.